One thing that I'm really interested in hearing from you on, because you experienced pretty much the extremes of both lifestyles, the hedonism player, chasing girls focused lifestyle, and then complete celibacy, and now married on semen retention, practicing Careza. So I'm curious from you, let's go back to the beginning. What was kind of because I think a lot of guys, could relate to this growing up. For me, it was like glorified that what would bring me happiness and success was getting girls. Was having sex with a lot of girls, sleeping with a lot of girls, just from what we hear in the media, our primal sex drive, um, masturbating a lot, getting stuck into that cycle of lust. So, how did that start for you? What kind of made you want to go down that path and pursue that? I mean, you told me you were approaching 100 girls in a day with your friend, doing pickup stuff. How did you even, what was the mindset that wanted you made you want to get into that?
I believe it was because I was very out of the loop socially. Like I didn't have social circles much at the time, and before when I did, they were all like they weren't that type of people, so they didn't have much girls around. And when I hit like 18, 19, 20, I just felt like that's what I wanted. I just wanted a ton of chicks and I wanted to bang them all. That's what I thought was missing in my life, coming from self-improvement into online business. I've had some sort of success in those aspects, but I was lacking big on that. And it was like right in your face with society today. It's all in the media, it's everywhere. Everyone's speaking about it. All friends were like, always talking about girls. So, like with any other area in my life, I wanted to completely conquer and dominate that aspect. And I started with pickup. It's you simply go up to a girl, you strike a convo, get a number, and eventually I ran into a friend who was into something similar. So we kind of tagged along and made it a lot funner. We just go to random places like universities. It was a hot spot and just literally spend 7, 8 hours a day with some breaks, just approaching hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of girls.
Crazy, bro. Did you ever deal with any like social anxiety before you, or anxiety when it
No,
came to talking to girls? Never.
I was fairly confident, but I wasn't a social person. Like
Yeah.
I'm confident in myself, but socially I wasn't socially savvy, so to say, or I wasn't like a social person. I was always more of a kind of a loner.
Hmm.
And that kind of is why I haven't met many girls. The few girls I would encounter in my life were like through like, either maybe like friend group or something like that. I didn't have many opportunities and chances to meet a lot of girls. So I just took the matter in my own hands and I went and spam approached basically. And I've heard of pickup. Well, my friend introduced me to the community. There was this guy, Tyler or something. He was autistic, but he managed to like become really good socially or some shit like that. And in the pickup world, I was considered a natural. It's like a natural is basically when you talk to a girl and just flows. It's free. My friend was
Yeah.
more like uh not a natural. I don't know the word. He
So
had
he
trouble.
needed strategy. He needed strategy to kind of like follow a
Yeah, he
script a
was
little bit more.
first he needed to learn to be comfortable speaking with strangers and so on and so forth. But at some point he made great progress and we were just spam approaching. That went on for quite a while. But we of course we got bored of it. And once I hit 21, we just hit the clubs all the time. And my
And what
only
about
goal,
in terms of like actually hooking up with girls? Like, were you hooking up with a lot of these girls, or at that time, or
the rate isn't the best for maybe for 100 girls you approach, you'll get like you'll get 10 to 20 numbers. Not even like a quarter. You'll get a quarter number. So let's say like 10 to 20. Yeah. From those 10 to 20, maybe a quarter of those will reply back. And from those that reply back, you'll get a small percent that you actually bang. So the hookups weren't that crazy in the beginning. It was
it probably depends.
what was
Sorry,
that?
probably depends a lot on like your confidence, your attractiveness as well, in terms of that rate.
I was fairly attractive. I don't know if it's that. I think it's just the way I came off. There was no social proofing for me, just a stranger that approached, and
Yeah.
that kind of what threw it off for me. But I'd definitely get looks from girls. I'd get attraction markers, everything. It was only a matter of they didn't trust me or they were sketched out. But even
Yeah.
so, I'd hook up like with a new girl maybe every month or two,
Mm,
and sometimes I'd build up a little rotation. But most of the time, I just preferred the thrill of a new girl. I didn't want to
mm.
keep one and dealing with one only.
And how did that feel? How did it feel when you would get that girl, sleep with her, and then how would you feel, before, during, and after? Like, what was your kind of like your mental state, and then like fulfillment too, in terms of happiness? Like, were you feeling like, oh yeah, this is amazing? Or eventually were you kind of just like, it probably like, changed as time went on, but how was your experience with that?
At the time, my philosophy was that everything a man does is to have sex with a woman. So I said, why not cut through all that and go directly to the true desire? And
Yeah.
so it felt good. It's like there was all these people in university studying so hard, stressing themselves. I was just swooping the girls, and there's people working 9 to 5s. I was just chilling, hanging out with girls. It felt like I was going straight to the thing rather than beating around the bush. That's how I saw it at the time. And I loved more than the sex itself. The sex was good, but I loved the thrill of it. I like just the thrill
Thrill of
of
the
a new
hunt.
girl, and capture, seal the deal, and after that, it's like I want another one. I want another one. It was addicting in a sense, and I kind of wore it like a badge, like my belt with notches. I was trying to add new notches. It wasn't anything personal, or it wasn't like I just needed sex so bad. It was just the thrill of it. And
Mm.
some days I even enjoy just uh, hanging out with those girls. But the aim was always to bang them. That's what I consider seal the deal. Check that off. So it was fun for sure, but
What about the ego? How did your ego feel
I thought I was
during
the
that time?
shit, dude.
Yeah. For sure. For sure.
Yeah, I thought every girl was trying to bang me. I had this mentality, definitely cocky. It was fun, but if I were to redo it all again, I would just stay a virgin. I would
Yeah.
never dabble with that stuff. I would completely stay virgin celibate until I found a real dope girl and marry her later on.
Yeah.
I would spend my younger years just, I don't want to say business, but some sort of pursuit, whatever I decide for myself, whether mastery of something or rather than just banging girls.
That
And
was your
especially,
that was your purpose. You need a different purpose then.
yeah, that was my purpose essentially at the time.
Yeah.
That's all I sought to life.
So was there a point where you were like, was there a point ever? I know you had the experience, where you came to Christ, but before that, was there ever a time where you're like, this is kind of getting unfulfilling? I kind of feel like empty from all this, or was it pretty much fulfilling and fun, at least for you, during the time you were doing it, pretty much till the end?
For sure, there was a time. It only took a couple of years, and at this point, I wasn't just banging girls locally. I was going all around the world, like whatever I desired, like Asia, South America, islands and stuff. And I just remember some days I would be at the club alone. I would just be day approaching during the day and whatnot, and I just felt like so purposeless and meaningless in what I do. I didn't know what else to do, but I kind of just did it as it was my default state at the time. That's all I kind of did. I would either drop LSD or try to get with girls. And I also had some side stuff I did, like creative pursuits. I did rap at some point. I would try to be a rapper. I had a
Mm.
blog. I had a successful blog, somewhat successful.
That was
I
the
what?
testosterone one?
Yeah, it's a testosterone blog. I had some stuff going. It's not that I was like, living off nothing.
Yeah.
I never really worked a 9 to 5 though. At one point, I just got so bored of life, and I didn't see myself working a 9 to 5 or just spending years building a business, grinding. I thought to myself, like, I'd rather die in this lifestyle than adapt to a normal type of life. I didn't care, till I run out of money, till I die. I didn't see another alternative. I thought I was just gonna live this life until it's done.
Mm,
And I wasn't suicidal in the slightest, but truly I didn't care if I lived or died, as dumb as
yeah.
that sounds, because it's
No, I
somewhat in
feel you.
my mind. I still had a thing where it's like if I die, there's a good chance I'm going to hell. Growing up with that belief, though at the time I didn't care for it.
But you still believed it.
I still somewhat believed it, yeah, but I just simply didn't care for it.